Hello students. Today we will read Social Science Civics Chapter 3 State Government. In this chapter we will read about institution of state government, that is legislative, executive and judiciary. In legislature we will read about legislature assembly and councils and their members. In executive we will read about governor, chief minister and council of minister. We will also read about their eligibility criteria. This chapter will be in 2 modules. Now we will discuss the module 1 of this chapter. Let's start our topic. The government is an organization which is governing authority of a political territorial unit. India is a federal system of governance. That is, the states here are united under the central authority of government. Students at the same time they are independent in their internal affairs. Just as the central government, state government too has the various functions which they perform in the state. In order to efficiently perform its function, the state government too needs the support of different people who take responsibilities of different departments and work for these. These departments make policies, proposal for laws and discuss and debate about the legislative assembly. All this discussion is done in the assembly called legislative assembly. If they get majority of votes in the assembly, then the policy they have proposed become law and law is implemented. Government at the state level. At the state level, the government works through the 3 main institutions, that is, the legislature, who is responsible for making laws. It can also change or abolish the existing law. Second is the executive, who implements the laws made by the legislature, and the last is the judiciary, who interprets the law and resolve its disputes. Now we will read about the first institution of state, that is the legislature. Students, the legislature of the state make laws that apply only to the state concerned. The MLAs and MLCs who take proposal for the policies or the law are called legislator. The process of making law and passing the law is called legislation. States which have only one house, that is the legislative assembly, are said to be unicameral legislature. Uni means one. And the states which have this unit, some of the states have legislative assembly and legislative councils also, and they are known as bicameral legislature, that is bi means 2. States like Andhra Pradesh, Nagaland, Bihar, Karnataka, Uttar Pradesh and Maharashtra have bicameral legislatures. Now we will move further and read something about legislative council, that is Vidhan Parishad. The Legislative Council or the Vidhan Parishad is also known as the upper house of the parliament. It does not exist in most of the Indian states. Students, the Vidhan Sabha decide whether to set up the Vidhan Parishad or to remove it. Once decided, it is made known to the parliament, which then passes the law needed to give the effect to the decision. Students, the size of state's legislature council depends upon the total strength of the legislative assembly only. According to the constitution, it cannot be more than 1/3 of the strength of the legislative assembly or not less than 40. That if there are 300 persons, then 1/3 would be 100. So 100 persons are the minimum requirement for the legislative assembly. Members of legislative councils, that is MLCs. The common people are only indirectly involved in electing the members of legislative councils. The MLAs elect one-third of the MLC's members of the local government bodies, such as municipalities elect one-third of them. The graduates of the states elect 1/12. Teachers of the secondary school, colleges, and universities elect 1/12, and the governor nominates the remaining 1/6 of the MLCs. This is how the members of legislative councils are elected. The chairman and the deputy chairman are elected by the council from among its members. Now about the term of legislative council members. Legislative council is a permanent house and can never be dissolved. Every member of the council stays for 6 years, while one-third of the member retire after every 2 years. That is, after the completion of 2 years, one-third of the members will be removed and new one-third member will be appointed. Now, what is the eligibility criteria for MLCs? To become MLC, that is member of legislative council, a person need to be first the citizen of India, second have his or her name in the voter list, that is the state voter list, third should not be below 30 years of age, fourth be mentally sound and financially not bankrupt. Now further we will read about Legislative Assembly, that is Vidhan Sabha. Student, it is just like the lower house of the parliament, where directly elected representative of the people assembly and discuss issues. The Vidhan Sabha meets at least twice a year with an interval of not more than 6 months between 2 sessions. At least 1/10 of the MLAs should be present during this session, that is meeting. Now we will read about MLA, that is Member of Legislative Assembly. Member of Legislative Assembly are directly elected by the people of the state. Student, each state is divided into units called constituencies for the purpose of elections. The number of constituencies vary according to the population of the state. One representative or MLA is elected from each constituency. Thus, states with large population will have proportionate more members in the assembly than the state with a smaller population. However, there may be not more than 5 members and not less than 60 MLAs in a state. Apart from these elected members, the governors can also nominate one member of the Anglo-Indian committee if he or she feels that the community is not adequately represented in the assembly. Now, what is the term of Vidhan Sabha? Students, the term of Vidhan Sabha is for 5 years. However, the governor can dissolve it before the term of expiry. Also, during emergency, its term can be extended by the parliament, but not for more than 6 months. Eligibility criteria to be a MLA. To become an MLA, a person should be first the citizen of India, second not less than 25 years of age, third not hold any office of profit under government, and last possess sound mental and physical health. Elections for Legislative Assembly. Elections for States Assembly are held at a regular interval of 5 years. Students, in the case of Assembly, is dissolved in between. The mid-term state elections are also held. If a member of Legislative Assembly dies before completing his tenure of the House or resigns, then to fulfill up that particular vacant seat, by-elections are also held. This is the end of Module 1. The further part we will discuss in the module 2 of this chapter. Thank you.